All right, Mark, the Broncos, they won the first 3 games of the season. Then they lost 4 in a row. What the heck happened to this team?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they've fallen a little bit out of balance. You know, when you look at this team, I think the way it was constructed, you got to run the football, you got to possess the ball, and they did that. I mean, they did a wonderful job of that in the first 3 games. And then, you know, it's a complementary nature thing. They are able to rush the passer, they get a lead and do those things. They haven't had a lead, but maybe very, very short time in the last 4 games. So that's been a big issue. And then, you know, I mean, not that you can ever use injuries as an excuse, but it is a reason, right? And they've had a ton of injuries from their linebacking core to, you know, their D-line and some guys on offense lost their 2 probably most dynamic wide receivers. So there's a lot of those things that kind of pile up on each other.
I know you just wrapped up production meetings here. Mm-hmm. What's the mentality of this team right now? What's the mindset?
Well, I think they're all, I mean, obviously they all want to go out and get a win. I mean, that's the mindset, and it's hard when you've lost a few games and you know you've got a lot of things to overcome that, you know, it's you know, put your nose to the grindstone and just don't talk about it, be about it. So we'll see exactly how they respond to it, but it's going to be a good challenge. You know, I know Washington's 2-5 right now, but they're a good football team, and they've got a lot of young talent. So we'll see. You know, they've made a lot of mistakes, but they've got, like I said, a lot of young, talented players.
Chase Young hasn't had quite the same season, though, but I'm sure he'll be running after Teddy Bridgewater a little bit. What have you seen from him this year?
Well, you know, Chase, in his kind of sophomore campaign, I just don't think he's necessarily developed beyond where he was last year. He's an exceptional athlete. He plays really hard. He really needs to develop a counter move to some of the things that he does right now, and I think that's part of being a young player is, you know, you've had some success and you got to continue to grow. You got to continue to add, you know, tools to your arsenal, so to speak. Really, the guy to me who's their biggest difference maker on defense is Jonathan Allen. He is a absolute one-man wrecking crew. Like, he's one of those guys that can completely affect the game without ever tallying a stat. And so he's there. That to me is the biggest worry you have on that defense right now.
What have you seen from this Broncos offensive line this year? Because Teddy Bridgewater, you know, he got knocked out of one game, battered and bruised in another one. What have you seen from the line up front?
Inconsistency, as I think is the best way to put it. They've been inconsistent, but a lot of that is because they've been behind. You know, in these last 4 games, you get behind and you get in predictable situations, and I don't care who you are, you're gonna struggle when you're in those situations. You know, from a play calling standpoint, if you get put in a position to be behind and you got to throw it almost every down, I don't care who you are, nobody's gonna hold up. Those guys on the other side are, you know, for the most part, they're better athletes, and it's really hard. So, you know, that comes down to play calling, that comes down to coaching a lot of the times. And so there's, you know, that's where the inconsistency comes from. If you get behind and you become predictable, I don't care who you are, as a group up front, you're not going to have success.
Last one for you, Mark, here. It's a nice October weekend. You get to stay home calling the Broncos game. What's going on at the house with Man 101?
I just finished a project, as a matter of fact. So I just finished this project. I've been working on it for a while. When the season started, I kind of got it bogged down, so I couldn't finish it. And the being able to stay at home for this week, I feel like I had an extra day of prep. So yesterday I spent about 3 hours in my yard getting stuff done before I came back in and started studying again. So it was really nice, because normally I do the radio show and then I jump on a plane and head to wherever I'm calling the game, and I spend the weekend, you know, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I come home late Sunday night after I call a game. So it felt like I had an extra day of prep. And I still feel like I'm behind.
Always. That's how it always feels. Mark, well, we love those videos. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Man, take care.